Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And AT&T is set to release their fourth quarter earnings Wednesday, January 25th. So this is a great article from Yahoo Finance, which I will leave in the description down below. So at the earnings call, we're going to get everything, right? They're going to release the numbers, they're going to release earnings, financials, and we also should and this normally happens, we should get guidance for the year 2023, or at least I should say an updated guidance of where they predict they will be by the end of 2023, and that goes for everything, right? Postpaid guidance, fiber guidance, pops, C-band pops, revenue, EBITDA. We will get all that on the 25th. So my thing is now looking at it a little different, right? I continuously look at articles, watch videos, talk to people, and that just gives me different perspectives on how to view things. So does AT&T go big? And what I mean by that is, so I know in the past videos I've said that AT&T is going to prioritize fiber, which they will. It's clearly showing, if you look at their ventures, the partnerships, it's all heading to them prioritizing fiber. But what happens as they do get into the living room and get people onto fiber, but then they also convert people to wireless? So that means their wireless share could grow by default. Just by pushing fiber, they could grow the wireless share. Now, what happens when that happens? They will have to strike a perfect balance on investing into the network. As the user base grows, the network will have to grow too, adding density, adding CRAN, and that will have to be looked upon, at a regional level. Is this market growing wireless share? Oh snap! We just grew 2% in a single year. In this market, in El Paso, we can get to 25% by 2026 at this pace that we're growing, right? I'm just throwing examples out there, but that's how it has to get viewed, because you can't fix your wireless network overnight. It takes time. It takes permitting. It takes, getting the approval to spend that money or spend more money for that market, right? The local person in charge can't just say, "Oh, we're gonna add this amount of stuff and we're gonna spend this amount." No, they have to get prior approval from an higher up, their boss likely, to spend that additional money. And to do all that, it takes time. And we say it a lot, but 6 months is a long time in the wireless industry if you planned correctly. If you got all that approval, if you got permit approval prior, you got all the contractors in line, everything, then you're good to go. Then you can just fire on all cylinders and start deploying, the additional assets needed to uplift the network. In my case in El Paso, also another important thing is, as they're deploying more cell sites, they have to have everybody on the same sheet of music. That also includes fiber. If AT&T is getting on a site where they don't have their own fiber, they have to trench. They have to add fiber to it. That means they have to get another contractor, get more permit approvals, dig up the ground, and all of that has to be in sync for them to do it in a timely manner. If not, everything just gets delayed. So they have to be very careful on how they approach this. And of course, every fiber customer, they want them to be converted to wireless. And I'm still hearing that is a high success rate anyway. AT&T doesn't even have to try too hard, I hear, right? Once they go in, I've seen it in many cases, once they get the contact that, hey, this customer wants fiber, they will send a sales representative to the house. I've seen it. I've seen it at my apartment complex. I see AT&T vehicles pop up. And then, they get in the house, they say, hey, we're installing your internet today, But this is also what we're offering. And if you bundle wireless with internet, you get 25% off. And I hear it works like 90% of the time that works. So that tells me, looking from the outside in, that they're growing their share. It might be at a slower pace, but they're growing their share in just about all markets that they offer fiber in. And then in the future, the new markets that they get into, right, they're expanding outside of its current footprint. They'll likely also grow the wireless share there too. So that's the leading product. Fiber is the leading product, but at the same token as well, as they add all these wireless lines, right, a house of four, right, they get fiber. That's 4 new lines that you could get wireless on. That means there's 4 more smartphones that are being added to the sector or to the network period overall. And just kind of like, just look at that at mass scale, right? On an entire market basis, how much fiber, how quickly they're deploying it, and how much of additional share that they're adding into the wireless network. That may not be ready for that additional growth at this point in time. AT&T may run into that issue as well. They may be loading up on customers in a market where previously they fairly had low share, didn't really invest separately too much on the network. They were more focused on fiber, and boom, all of a sudden you have all this additional wireless traffic. Now the network's tanking. And now you have to be reactionary. You got to, we got to spend an additional $50 million in the first 6 months. We got to get approval. Now all of a sudden everything is running and everybody's moving at a faster pace because they don't want churn to spike too high. They don't want the possibility of also losing the fiber customer altogether, because they might call Spectrum, they might call Comcast and get a better overall deal, including wireless. So that's just some commentary that I wanted to leave you guys, something to think about as to how this could transpire for AT&T, right? They could endure a churn in many ways, right? Fiber is a bit pricey, but it works, right? If they run into the issue where the wireless network doesn't keep up, then boom, T-Mobile could step in with its fixed wireless access and get those lines, those wireless lines, right? Verizon could step in with fixed wireless access too and get those lines. And that's really what competition is about. So AT&T has to not only step it up on fiber, which I feel they really stepped it up on fiber since about 2019, 2020. They went big on fiber, but they may have not really pushed it too much on the wireless side to kind of balance that out. So like, for example, El Paso, my market, it keeps steadily growing in share, and they anticipate to get to 20% market share by 2025, 2026. Right now, as it stands today, the wireless network is not ready to handle an additional 7% share on the postpaid side. I was made clear that a few months back, right? They already have about 30% cricket share in this market. Handling another 7%, increase in traffic on wireless, they would have to build in a severely amount more sites, and of course start deploying C-band and DoD much more heavily than they are. But that's something that they would have to do. They would have to look at that, and they would have to initiate that very quickly, in my opinion. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.